Nobody cares. That's right. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's sitting around plotting how to make your life easier, your dreams come true, or your problems vanish into thin air. And you know what? That's the best news you're going to hear all day. Why? Because it means your success, your happiness, your future, it's all up to you. No one's riding in on a white horse to push you forward. No one's hovering by your side, waiting to hand you the golden ticket to your dream life. If you're sitting there hoping someone's going to notice you, tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you ready? Here's the blueprint," you're in for a long, lonely wait. The reality is most people are too wrapped up in their own chaos to give a second thought to yours. And that's not a dig, it's a gift. It's freedom. It means you don't need anyone's permission to start. You don't need a standing ovation from the world to take your first step. Your life, it's yours to build. And that's the most empowering thing you'll ever realize. Let's unpack that for a minute, because I want you to really feel this. How many times have you held yourself back waiting for the stars to align? Maybe you've got this dream buzzing in your head, starting a business, getting in shape, chasing a goal that's been simmering for years, but you keep telling yourself, "I need more time. I need more skills. I need to feel ready." I've been there too. I've stood at the edge of my own dreams, hesitating, looking around for some cosmic sign that it's the right moment. I'd think, maybe if I just wait a little longer, I'll feel more prepared. Maybe if I read one more book, take one more class, talk to one more person, I'll have what I need to start. But here's the cold, hard truth, and I'm saying this because I've lived it. There is no right moment. There's no neon arrow from the universe pointing you to go time. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is you deciding to move. That's it. A decision. Not a feeling, not a permission slip, not a cheerleading squad, just you saying, "Enough waiting. I'm starting now." I want you to think about that hesitation, that moment where you've stalled. Maybe it's a business idea you've been sketching out in your head for months. Something that could change everything, but you've convinced yourself you need a perfect plan first. Or maybe it's your health. You've been meaning to get in shape, but you're waiting for January 1st, or Monday, or some random day when you magically wake up craving broccoli instead of burgers. Or maybe it's a creative dream, a book, a podcast, a project that's been whispering to you for years, but you keep pushing it off because you don't feel qualified yet. Whatever it is, I'm betting you've spent more time thinking about it than doing it. And I get it. Thinking feels safe. Planning feels productive. But it's a trap. The longer you sit in that planning phase, the harder it is to break free. You're not preparing, you're procrastinating. And every day you wait, that dream slips a little further out of reach. People get so tangled up in this idea that they need someone else to greenlight their dreams. They're out there fishing for approval from friends, family, society, their boss, like it's some kind of prerequisite for action. If my mom thinks it's a good idea, I'll do it. If my best friend says I've got what it takes, I'll try. If my coworkers don't laugh, I'll take the leap. But let me ask you this. Who knows your dream better than you? Who feels that fire in your gut, that pull towards something bigger? Nobody. That vision in your head, that thing that keeps you up at night, it's yours alone. No one else can see it the way you do, and no one else can tell you it's valid. Your mom might love you, your friends might cheer for you, your boss might nod politely, but they're not living inside your skull. They don't hear that quiet voice saying, "This is what I'm meant for." If you're waiting for someone to stamp approved on your forehead before you take a swing at it, you're handing over your power. You're sentencing yourself to years of standing still, watching life pass you by while you clutch a dream you never dared to chase. Stop it. You don't need anyone else to tell you your dream matters. It matters because you feel it. That's enough. And let's be honest, most people don't have the bandwidth to care about your dreams anyway. They're not being cruel, they're just human. They've got their own bills to pay, their own kids to wrangle, their own messes to sort out. Your sister's not sitting up at night wondering how to launch your side hustle. Your neighbor's not plotting your fitness comeback. Your old college buddy isn't losing sleep over whether you'll ever write that novel. They're too busy surviving their own lives. And that's not a bad thing, it's a wake-up call. If nobody's coming to hand you the keys to your future, then you've got to grab them yourself. You don't need a savior. You don't need a fairy godmother. You need you. Your grit, your guts, your decision to stop waiting and start doing. Now, let's get real for a second, because this is the part that stings. No one's coming to save you. I don't care how much you wish for it, how many times you've prayed for a miracle. Nobody's swooping in to fix your life. I've had those moments too where I've looked around and thought, someone's got to see how hard this is. Someone's got to step in and help. But the cavalry doesn't show up. The people who make it, the ones who build empires, transform their bodies, write books, create opportunities, they don't sit around waiting for a rescue. They don't waste their days analyzing every what if before they leap. They just start. They take that first messy, wobbly step, even when they're scared out of their minds, even when they have no clue what's next. Why? Because they get it. Action creates clarity. You don't figure it all out and then move. You move, and the pieces start falling into place. I want you to picture this, because it's so simple yet so powerful. Think about a kid learning to ride a bike. Do they wait until they're a pro cyclist in their head before they hop on? No way. They climb onto that shaky little bike, they wobble, they crash, they scrape their knees, and then they get back up and try again. Every wobble, every fall, it's not failure, it's progress. They don't need confidence to start. They build it by going. I remember teaching my own kids to ride. They'd look at me with those big nervous eyes and I'd say, just pedal. I've got you. But the truth is, I couldn't ride it for them. They had to push those pedals themselves. And after a few spills, they'd get it. Shaky at first, then steady, then flying down the driveway with grins splitting their faces. That's you right now with whatever you're dreaming about. You don't need to feel ready. Readiness is a lie we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. The only way to get good at anything, business, fitness, life, is to do it over and over. Mess it up, learn, adjust, keep going. That's the secret sauce, not talent, not luck, just showing up and doing the damn thing. But here's where most people trip, and I've seen it 1,000 times. They're terrified of what others will think. They freeze because they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to fail where everyone can see. I get it. Nobody likes feeling exposed. I've had those moments where I've thought, what if I try this and it flops? What if people laugh? What if they think I'm a fraud? It's paralyzing. But let me hit you with another truth. Nobody's watching you as closely as you think. Everyone's too busy wrestling their own demons, chasing their own goals, scrolling their own feed. Your coworker's not dissecting your every move. Your high school friend isn't critiquing your first shaky attempt at something new. They're too caught up in their own stuff. And even if someone does throw a side eye your way, so what? Their judgment doesn't put food on your table. Their snarky comments don't build your future. You've got to be willing to look foolish, to stumble, to step into the messy unknown if you want to grow. Waiting for the world to give you a gold star before you start, that's a one-way ticket to nowhere. You don't need a degree in worthy to chase what lights you up. You don't need to be an expert on day one. The most successful people on this planet didn't start with a guarantee. They started with a gut feeling and a willingness to figure it out as they went. That's it. That's all you need too. And let's talk about that gut feeling, because it's more powerful than you realize. That little nudge, that whisper that says, this is for me. That's your compass. It's not loud. It's not a billboard. It's quiet, persistent, and it's been there all along. Maybe it's telling you to start that side hustle you've been doodling about in notebooks. Maybe it's pushing you to lace up your sneakers and take a walk, even if it's just around the block. Maybe it's urging you to pick up that guitar you haven't touched in years, or write the first page of that story you've been carrying around. That feeling, it's not random. It's not a fluke. It's you, deep down, knowing there's something more out there for you. And the only way to find out what it is to follow it. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because every time you ignore it, you're telling yourself your dreams don't matter, and they do. They matter so much. So why do we wait? Why do we let that gut feeling sit there gathering dust? Because we're scared, because we think we need more time, more money, more knowledge, more confidence. But here's the thing. You'll never have enough of those things if you don't start. Time doesn't multiply when you wait, it shrinks. Money doesn't fall from the sky, it comes from action. Knowledge doesn't grow in a vacuum, it builds through experience. And confidence, that's the biggest myth of all. We think confidence is this shiny prize we get before we begin, like a trophy we have to earn first. But it's not. Confidence is what shows up after you take the leap. It's the reward for jumping, not the ticket to the ride. You don't wait to feel brave, you act. And bravery finds you. Let me paint you a picture because I want this to stick. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a pool. The water's cold and you're not sure how deep it is. You could dip a toe in, test it out, analyze the temperature, ask someone else how it feels. But at some point, you've got to jump. And when you do, that first shock of cold hits you, but then you start swimming and your body adjusts and suddenly you're moving through it like you were made for it. That's what starting feels like. The anticipation is the worst part. The overthinking, the worrying, the what ifs. But once you're in, once you're doing it, it's not so bad. It's actually kind of exhilarating. That's what chasing your dream is like. The jump is scary, but the swimming is where the magic happens. And here's the kicker. Work ethic beats talent every single time. I don't care how gifted you are. If you're not willing to put in the hours, you're not going anywhere. Talent's a spark, hard work's the fuel. I've seen it over and over. People with all the natural ability in the world, but they coast, they wait, they lean on their gifts, and they end up stuck. Then there's the scrappy ones, the ones who maybe aren't the brightest or the fastest or the most talented, but they show up, they grind, they outwork everyone else, and they win every time. You've got two paths in front of you right now. You can sit back, cross your fingers, and hope one day you wake up feeling ready. Or you can get up, take the risk, and start. Messy, imperfect, scared, whatever, because nothing happens until you move. Nothing. Your feelings, they're not your boss. They're fickle. They shift with the wind. Your mood, how much coffee you had this morning. If you only act when you feel like it, you're screwed. You'll spend your life on the couch waiting for inspiration to knock on your door like a pizza delivery guy. Spoiler alert, it's not coming. Let's talk about that for a second, because this is where so many people get tripped up. How many times have you bailed on yourself because you didn't feel like it? You were going to hit the gym, but you were too tired. You were going to start that project, but you weren't in the zone. You were going to wake up early, but the snooze button felt too good. I've done it too. I've had mornings where I've stared at my running shoes and thought, nah, not today. I'll feel better tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next month, and suddenly it's been a year, and those shoes are still collecting dust. Every time you let that voice win, you're training yourself to stall. You're building a habit of putting your dreams on hold. You're telling yourself it's okay to wait, that your feelings get to decide what happens next. But they don't. They shouldn't. Because the people who make it, they don't play that game. They don't wait for motivation to strike like lightning. They know motivation's a flaky friend. It shows up late and leaves early. So they ditch it. They take action whether they feel like it or not. And here's the magic. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Don't believe me? Think about a time you dragged yourself to do something you didn't want to, like going for a run when you'd rather stay in bed. You start out grumbling, cursing the alarm clock, maybe even bargaining with yourself. I'll just do 10 minutes and call it. But then 10 minutes in, something shifts. Your legs loosen up. Your breathing steadies. You feel alive. You've got energy you didn't know was there. Maybe you even push it to 20 minutes, 30, because now you're in it and it feels good. That's momentum kicking in. That's your brain going, oh, we're doing this? All right, let's roll. The hardest part is those first few steps, the lacing up, the stepping out, the breaking through that initial wall of, once you're moving, it's like the universe says, okay, you're serious? Here's some fuel. Your brain's wired to resist change. It loves the cozy, easy path. It's why it feeds you excuses like, I'm too tired, or I'll do it tomorrow. It's not because you're broken or lazy. It's because your brain's a comfort junkie. But growth, that lives on the other side of discomfort. If you want to level off, you've got to stop letting your feelings call the shots and start deciding based on what needs to get done. Imagine an Olympic athlete, someone training for gold. Do you think they bounce out of bed every morning, pumped to hit the track? Hell no. Some days they're beat, sore, uninspired, their muscles ache, their mind's foggy, and all they want is a day off. But they don't skip practice because they don't feel like it. They show up, they lace up their shoes and get to work. Why? Because they know success isn't about what's fun, it's about what's necessary. They've got a goal bigger than their mood swings, and they're not about to let a bad day derail it. That's the mindset you need. Want to build a business? You can't wait for a burst of genius. You've got to grind, even when you'd rather binge Netflix. Want to get healthy? You can't wait until kale sounds better than pizza. You make the choice anyway. Want to master a skill? You don't wait for confidence to magically appear. You practice through the awkward, clumsy beginner phase. That's how it works. Discipline, not motivation, is what gets you there. I want you to really let that sink in, because this is a game changer. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not the stuff of inspirational posters or viral TikToks. It's quiet. It's boring. It's showing up when you'd rather sleep, pushing through when you'd rather quit, choosing the hard thing over the easy thing day after day. But it's the difference between dreaming and doing. Motivation's like a sugar high. It feels great until it crashes. Discipline's the slow burn, the steady engine that keeps you going when the hype fades. Too many people are stuck because they treat their feelings like a rule book. I don't feel ready, so I shouldn't start. I'm not in the mood, so I'll wait. Feelings aren't facts, they're weather patterns. They pass. They don't get to decide your life unless you let them. Successful people, they've cracked the code. They do the work whether they're pumped or dragging. They don't care if it's raining in their head. They grab an umbrella and keep moving. You've got that same choice every day. Build the life you want or keep feeding yourself reasons why you. But here's the deal. Excuses and results don't mix. Every minute you spend explaining why you're stuck is a minute you could have spent getting unstuck. Which side are you on? Let's talk about excuses, because they're sneaky little bastards. They feel good in the moment, like a warm blanket you wrap around yourself to avoid the cold reality of effort. It's easier to say, I'm too busy, than to admit you're scared to fail. It's simpler to blame your past than to face the work ahead. I didn't grow up with money, so I can't start a business. I've never been fit, so why bother now? I don't have the right connections, so what's the point? I've heard them all, and I've said some of them myself, but every excuse is just a delay tactic. It's you giving yourself a free pass to stay exactly where you are. And the more you lean on them, the more they take root. Tell yourself you're too tired enough times, and your brain starts believing it's gospel. You'll find evidence everywhere. Look, I yawned twice today. Guess I can't do anything. That's how people end up trapped. They've talked themselves into a cage of, I can't. And they don't even try to break out. But the people who win, they're not excuse-proof. They've got the same doubts, the same crazy schedules, the same fears. The difference is they don't let those things be the end of the story. They push through. They find a way. You say you don't have time? Bull. You've got the same 24 hours as everyone else. You're just spending it on stuff that's not moving the needle. Scrolling Instagram, binging shows, overthinking in circles. You've got time for that, right? I'm not saying you don't have real responsibilities, kids, jobs, bills. They're legit. But if your dream really mattered, you'd carve out the minutes. You'd get up an hour earlier. You'd skip the mindless noise. You'd turn off the TV and turn on your hustle. People make time for what they care about. If you're not making time, it's because you haven't decided it's non-negotiable yet. The second you do, watch how fast your day rearranges itself. And don't give me that, I don't know where to start line. That's just procrastination in a fancy outfit. You don't need a PhD in your dream to take a step. You just need to take one. Start small, start messy, start clueless. Write the first sentence, run the first mile, Google the first question. The path shows up when you do. The people who succeed aren't the ones who had it all mapped out. They're the ones who started walking and figured it out along the way. You learn by doing, not by waiting for a perfect plan. I didn't wake up one day knowing how to build everything I've built. I started with one shaky step, then another, then another. I messed up plenty, I still do, but I kept going. And that's the only reason I'm here talking to you now. You don't need all the answers. You need the courage to start without them. And yeah, fear's gonna tag along. Fear of screwing up, fear of looking dumb, fear of not being enough. That's normal. I feel it too. Every time I step into something new, there's that voice whispering, what if you crash and burn? But here's the thing. Fear's not a stop sign. It's a passenger. Let it ride along, but don't let it drive. Failure's not the enemy, it's the teacher. Every successful person you admire has a graveyard of flops behind them. They didn't win because they never fell. They won because they got back up. I've fallen flat on my face more times than I can count. Bad decisions, public stumbles, ideas that went nowhere. But each time, I learned something. Each time, I got a little tougher, a little smarter. You will too. The only real failure is not trying. If you let fear keep you on the sidelines, you're not just avoiding failure, you're avoiding success. Now let's shift gears because there's another trap we fall into: comparison. You're scrolling through your phone, watching someone else's highlight reel, new car, big promotion, perfect abs, and suddenly you feel like you're losing. You're behind, you'll never catch up. Been there, staring at my screen, thinking, how are they so far ahead? What am I doing wrong? But here's the truth. Other people's wins don't take anything away from you. Success isn't a pie with limited slices. There's enough for everyone who's willing to bake their own. But when you're glued to someone else's story, you're not writing yours. You're wasting energy doubting yourself instead of building yourself. You don't see their late nights, their breakdowns, their near quits. You just see the shiny end result. And if you keep stacking your messy middle against their polished finish, you'll always feel like you're coming up short. The fix? Put the blinders on. Focus on you, your goals, your next step. Their journey's got nothing to do with yours. I want you to think about that for a minute because comparison's a thief. It steals your time, your confidence, your momentum. You're sitting there watching someone else's Instagram story, new house, dream vacation, thriving business, and your brain starts spinning. They're younger than me and already killing it. They've got 1 million followers and I can't even get 10 likes. They look so put together. Why am I still a mess? But what you don't see is the grind behind the glamour. That person with the 1 million followers, they probably started with 0, just like you. They probably had posts that flopped, nights they cried, moments they almost gave up. That shiny new house could have taken years of scraping by to afford. You're not seeing the full picture, you're seeing the victory lap. And when you measure yourself against that, you're setting yourself up to lose. Your story's different, your pace is different. And that's not a flaw, it's your strength. Focusing on yourself is like flipping a switch. You stop begging for approval. You stop bending over backwards to impress people who don't even notice. You start asking, what do I need to do today to get where I want to go? That's power. Nobody's opinion pays your rent. Nobody's applause builds your dream. Only you can do that. And yeah, it's scary. Going all in on yourself means risking judgment, failure, lonely. Most people won't get it. They'll raise eyebrows, whisper behind your back, tell you to play it safe. Let them. Your job isn't to win their approval, it's to win your own. Block out the noise, ditch the endless scrolling, say no to the energy vampires. Not everyone's going to cheer you on, and that's fine. You're not here to make everyone comfortable, you're here to make yourself proud. When you zero in on you, something wild happens. You stop blaming the world. No more if only I had more time, or if only I'd started sooner. You take the wheel. You set goals that light you up, not ones that look good on a resume. You pour into yourself, learning, growing, pushing your limits. And the more you do, the less you care about keeping up with the Joneses. You're not racing anyone else. You're racing yesterday's you. That's freedom. That's where the good stuff lives. But it's not all sunshine and high fives. Success can be lonely. You'll lose sleep. You'll miss out on easy nights with friends. You'll question yourself 1 million times. You'll wonder if it's worth it, if you're crazy, if you should just settle for good enough. But every ounce of that grind is worth it when you look back and see what you've built. Every late night, every no to temptation, every push past doubt, it's stacking bricks in the foundation of your future. Let me tell you something I've learned the hard way. The world doesn't wait for you. Opportunities don't hang around until you're ready. Life keeps spinning, and if you're not moving with it, you're falling behind. I've missed chances because I hesitated. I've watched doors close because I waited too long to knock. And every time I kicked myself, not because I failed, but because I didn't try. Don't do that to yourself. Don't wake up 10 years from now staring at a life you settled for, wondering what could have been. You've got a spark in you, a dream, a goal, a hunger, and it's not there by accident. It's there because it's yours to chase, but it's not going to chase you. You've got to go after it, full throttle, no excuses, no apologies. So here's where we land. This is your life. Your shot. Nobody cares enough to do it for you. And that's your superpower. Work hard. Focus on you. Get up and do the work every single day. Not when you feel like it, not when the stars align, but right now. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting, period. The world's not pausing for you and opportunities aren't knocking twice. You want it? Go get it. You've got everything you need inside you already. Guts, grit, a dream that won't quit. So what's it going to be? Are you going to sit there spinning excuses, hoping life hands you a win? Or are you going to stand up, take charge, and make it happen? Nobody cares. Work hard. Focus on you. Let's go, and let's keep going. Because I'm not done with you yet. I want to hammer this home until it's tattooed on your brain. You are the only one who can change your life. Not your spouse, not your parents, not your boss, not your best friend. You. And that's not a burden. It's a privilege. It means you're not a passenger in your own story. You're the driver. You get to decide where this road goes. But deciding isn't enough. You've got to steer. You've got to press the gas. You've got to navigate the potholes and the detours and the storms that roll in out of nowhere, because they will. Life's not a straight shot. It's a winding, bumpy, sometimes brutal ride. But the people who make it to the other side aren't the ones who avoid the bumps. They're the ones who keep driving through them. I want you to think about where you are right now. Not where you were 5 years ago. Not where you hope to be in 10 years. Right now, today, this minute. What's in front of you? What's that one thing you've been putting off? Maybe it's a phone call you've been dreading. Reaching out to someone who could open a door. Maybe it's a workout you've been skipping because the couch feels too good. Maybe it's a blank page you've been staring at, too scared to write the first word. Whatever it is, it's not going anywhere until you do something about it. And I know it's hard. I know it feels overwhelming. But hard doesn't mean impossible. It means worth it. The things that matter most are always the ones that push you, stretch you, make you sweat. Easy doesn't build anything. Easy keeps you small. So let's break it down, because I'm not here to just yell at you. I'm here to help you move. Pick one thing, just one. That business idea, write down 3 steps you could take this week. Research a competitor, sketch a logo, call a friend who's done it before. That fitness goal, put your shoes by the door tonight and promise yourself a 10-minute walk tomorrow. That creative dream, open your laptop, set a timer for 15 minutes and let yourself suck at it for a little while. Start so small it feels ridiculous, because small starts beat no starts every time. The trick is to stop thinking about the finish line and start focusing on the first step. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today, you just have to take one swing at it. One swing leads to 2, 2 leads to 10, and before you know it, you're halfway up. And when you take that swing, don't look around to see who's watching. Don't pause to check if anyone's clapping. This isn't about them, it's about you. The second you start worrying about what your cousin thinks or what your old classmate might post, you're giving away your power. You're letting their voices drown out yours. I've done that too. Wasted time tweaking my plans to avoid judgment, softening my edges to fit in. But here's what I learned. The people who matter will cheer you on, and the ones who don't, we're never going to anyway. You can't control what they think, but you can control what you do. So do it for you. Do it because it feels right in your bones. Do it because 10 years from now, you want to look back and say, I gave it everything I had. And when it gets tough, because it will, don't quit. There's going to be a day when you wake up and nothing goes right. Your alarm doesn't go off, your coffee spills, your inbox is a dumpster fire, and all you want is to crawl back into bed. That's the day that matters most. That's the day you prove who you are. Not the shiny days when everything clicks. Those are easy. It's the ugly days. The slog days, the why am I even doing this days that define you. On those days, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. Do one thing. One tiny, stubborn, defiant thing that says, I'm still in this. Because every time you show up, you're building something. You're proving to yourself that you're tougher than your excuses, stronger than your doubts, bigger than your bad days. Let me tell you about a time I almost quit, because I want you to know you're not alone in this. Years ago, I was working on something big, something that scared me to death. I'd put in months of work, late nights, early mornings, all of it. And then one day, it all went sideways. A deal fell through, a plan collapsed, and I was left staring at a pile of wreckage. I remember sitting there, head in my hands, thinking, this is it. I'm done. I can't keep going. I wanted to walk away, call it a loss, lick my wounds, move on. But something stopped me. That gut feeling, that whisper. It was still there, faint but stubborn. So I didn't quit. I got up, dusted myself off, and took one small step forward. Not a big one, just enough to keep going. And that step led to another and another until I was back on track. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't fast, but it worked. Because that's how you build a life. Not with giant leaps, but with a million little steps you refuse to stop taking. That's what I want for you. I want you to find that stubborn spark inside you. The one that won't let you quit even when you want to. It's there, I promise. It's the same spark that's kept you reading this far, the same spark that's kept your dream alive through all the waiting and wishing. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's tough as hell. And it's waiting for you to listen to it, to trust it, to act on it. Because here's the truth. You're capable of more than you think. You're stronger than you realize. You've got everything you need to start right now, today, exactly as you are. You don't need more time, more money, more anything. You need a decision, a commitment, a refusal to let your life be something you just dream about instead of something you live. So let's wrap this up with a challenge, because I'm not here to just talk at you. I'm here to light a fire under you. Today, before you go to bed, do one thing that moves you closer to what you want. One thing. Doesn't matter how small it is, make it so easy you can't say no. Write one sentence, walk one block, send one email. But do it. Prove to yourself that you can. And then tomorrow do it again, and the day after that. Stack those tiny wins until they're not tiny anymore, until they're a habit, a rhythm, a life. Because that's how you win, not with a single big moment, but with 1,000 small ones that add up to something unstoppable. This is your life. Your shot. Nobody cares enough to do it for you, and that's your superpower. Work hard. Focus on you. Get up and do the work every single day. Not when you feel like it, not when the stars align, but right now. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting, period. The world's not pausing for you, and opportunities aren't knocking twice. You want it? Go get it. You've got everything you need inside you already. Guts, grit, a dream that won't quit. So what's it going to be? Are you going to sit there spinning excuses, hoping life hands you a win? Or are you going to stand up, take charge, and make it happen? Nobody cares. Work hard, focus on you, let's go.